Hey, what's going on, guys? It is 18 degrees out, and I'm supposed to go over to my dad's to work on the Bronco, and it won't start. Sounds like the fuel's gummed up and stuff. So just threw my new charger on from Harbor Freight. Let's get this thing charging. Now I'm out to get a plug for my block heater and a little bit of diesel 911. Let's get to it. So we got the Bronco running, but it's always something. Started leaking some power steering fluid at the bottom, so gonna go investigate that before I get going. So let's figure it out. So it looks like the input on our box is leaking. That light doesn't do good on camera. You have to take my word for it, but yeah, it looks like that might be it. So there's the truck. We finally got that thing started, and it turns out instead of going over to my dad's, we're fixing a steering box that's pissing out of a seal. So, a bit cold out here. So we're changing things up, making it warm. The fire actually helps quite a bit, and you know, something different, kind of fun. Going inside, got a new torpedo heater, courtesy of Ben. That'll help warm this place up. Yeah. And then, yeah, Pittsburgh was on sale at Harbor Freight. So we got a couple seats too. And hopefully we'll make for a good day of trying out new tools and getting some stuff done. First things first, let's get that power steering box off. And then we can think about some upgrades. Ready? All right, maiden voyage. Oh. Uh-oh. Ah. Oh, there we go. Oh. There we go. Now we got some heat. So there's a couple hoses that come in from the top. I'll get to them. I've got 3 bolts here. And then I got to disconnect my pitman arm. And a couple hoses underneath. And we should be good to drop that steering box out, hopefully. So let's work on that. Got the pitman arm disconnected underneath. These 2 hoses that go to my ram disconnected and draining. Now I'm gonna drop this down, take off the input shaft, and pull these last 2 hoses, and I should be pretty good to go. All right. Fire's dying down. Steering box has been pulled. It's sitting in there. Got to use a bunch of my new tools. Everything's coming pretty handy, pretty happy with how it went. And yeah, gonna get this thing cleaned up and figure out whether I'm gonna rebuild it myself or if I'm gonna go send it out. And by rebuild it, I'm just resealing it. So we'll see. So we're back at my dad's garage. He's giving me a hand. I've got my steering box out of the Bronco that was leaking. And we got a rebuild kit, so we're going to try to replace the seal before we send it in for a rebuild. Thing was pretty dirty, so first step was clean it up. Got the box cleaned up pretty good. Now we're moving on. We just pulled the dust boot off here, and we're going to go to try to pull out the seal. So we got the dust boot off, and we're looking in there at the shaft. And if this will focus, it looks like it's almost painted where the seal goes and rides. So I don't know if we got dirt in there or what, if it was painted or something. So we're gonna go pull the seal out, and hopefully that was the issue and why we're leaking. So there's a little bit of paint on the shaft, and my dad had the good idea of using some general purpose adhesive cleaner, like on like almost like a big Q-tip, and it wipes the stuff right off. So I don't know if that was causing our leak, but it definitely didn't help anything. So we're gonna get the shaft cleaned all up. So looking through everything, this is the dust shield, and you can see it's all cracked up around the edges, and it's real brittle. Some of that might be from us pulling it out, but it was like that before we started. So that's probably what happens. That failed and let a little bit of dirt and grime down into that seal, and that's what took that seal out. So hopefully this is our issue, and we'll get back to this being all nice and dry. Everything's all cleaned. Got the seal with some Vaseline to go in. And now we have a socket to press it in. Seal's in, the snap ring's in. Now just to replace the dust cover. So we're getting ready to put on the new seal. And we're pressing it over the splines here on the shaft. And we stopped. And I was like, that's the way the other one's kind of cracked up. Almost pretty evenly like that. So we're going to just wrap this in tape for when we put the seal over, it doesn't slice it at all. Or at least that's what we're hoping. A little bit of electrical tape and some Vaseline. And that protected the lip of that dust cover. So that's pretty sweet. Now for the action shot.
Hardest part was cleaning it.
Yeah, really. We're all set with our new clean box. We're leaving this on for transportation purposes so we don't have to ding up that shaft. Replug that hole. And I think we're ready to reinstall this one day this weekend. So that was pretty sweet and really not too bad of a job. Like my dad said, the hardest part was just getting it nice and clean. I'm under the Bronco. It's been a few days. And the steering box is going in. Hoping to get this in pretty quick and get on to something a little bit more fun. So let's get to it. All right, so we're bleeding this thing now. You can see it's all frothy. It's full of air. It was actually burping. I don't know if you can still see it. Yeah, there it goes. Burping all that air out. So let me turn this thing back on and get going again. It's a little over full now, so it's going to squeeze out the top. You can say we got some air in there. Just frothy milkshake. So, yeah, I guess we'll just keep it running. Oh, got a bucket underneath to get some of that out, catch some of that. And, yeah, we'll keep bleeding this thing. There is a lot to bleed with the ram, the steering box, and the hydro assist brakes. There's a ton of air. I'm going to go let this thing sit for a little bit and then top it off, I think. All right, guys. So the bleeding went on for hours, and I've got good brakes, but I've got next to no power steering on this thing. So what that makes me think is that my steering pump is bad. I've done this once before where I kind of burnt out a steering pump bleeding the truck. So this has just been a big aggravating time, and I'll either be putting in a new stock pump or this will be the perfect opportunity to go to a Saginaw pump. That being said, I got to go do some research, and I think I'm going to go wrap up this video. I've got about 30 days till I travel out west, so I've got a lot to do. And if you want to follow along, be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.